love Which is your favourite? I think well, I haven't been on Brian, that's the only one I haven't been on. I prefer the modern.
Just the type of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it's just too sophisticated for me. Well, it's alright. It's not variety all the... Well, I can't explain.
The fog is lifting, by the way.
Rose is not here.
Oh, one passenger missing.
Yeah, I'm not going nowhere yet. Only giving you a different view. I'm not going, I'm not going.
It's a shame. I thought we were setting up.
So anyhow, I told them there's no charge from sitting in the bus for the morning. Yeah, he's been going to and fro the airport.
Oh, you just had this.
Hyde Park on the right. The glamour girl on the left, look. On the left, the aisle's a Scilly stone shop. Aisle's a Scilly stone shop, crowded, look. On the right, Tesco. Tesco. Catholic Church. More boozers here than Catholics. Ladies wear. Mrs. Gibson parked in the middle of the road, look. Tea shop, divers' headquarters. Oh look, the fog's clear, look at that. We'll have a rest. The island with the trees is Tresco. The big house in the trees is Tresco Abbey. You can just see it, look, in the gloom. That's the home of the Dorian Smiths. They run their island like the Isle of Sark in the Channel Islands. They won't have a motor car on their island. All the 140 population work for the Dorian Smiths. They lease the island from the Prince of Wales. As far as we're concerned, they own it, but they really only lease it. When you land on their wonderful island, they charge you £1.10. When you go in their subtropical gardens, it's another £2. And the boatman will take you there to spend the day, £1.70 return. Dorian Smiths are the old Tory aristocrats. They never liked Harold, but they simply love good class. Ladies and gentlemen like you who go to Tresco and pay up. You're always welcome on their wonderful island. Tresco, not Tesco. 3 miles of beaches, no motor cars, the show island of the Scillys, the only one with a landing charge. The next island is Briar. You can see their town on the hill, look, just. Briar's got a population of about 60. Nearly everyone on Briar years ago was called Jenkins. A lot of them are still called Jenkins. A lot of Jenkinses on this island now, sir. They're emigrants from Briar, the island of the Jenkinses. They were always teetotalers, no pub. Always believed more in the power of prayer than the power of drink. Unlike the population of this island of St Mary's, most of them will booze until the beer runs out their ears. If you don't believe me, visit the Mermaid pub tonight. If any of you ladies had gone to Briar in your younger days, not that you're all now, of course, ladies, you'd have been married in a flash, called Mrs. Jenkins, and lived on Briar forevermore. It's a nice thought, ladies. Wouldn't you like to be called Mrs. Jenkins, madam?
Yeah.
You'd be an asset up the Mermaid tonight. The Jenkinses of Briar. Always teetotalers. The next island is Samson with the 2 hills, look. Samson's uninhabited, except for rats, rabbits, seagulls, honeymoon couple living in solitude. Samson's covered with rocks, gorse, heather, ferns. What more can you ask for, girls? 3 beaches for the children. Express bus now passing us. He left town at 10:30. Samson is the biggest uninhabited island. The boatman will take you there to spend the day. £1.70 return. They'll take you to Briar, £1.70 return. The boatman ladies will do nearly anything for £1.70. They certainly do these glamour girls in the front for £1.70. The Prince of Wales owns the pier and he owns the harbour. You see, there's the lifeboat. Look, orange and blue. Too big for the lifeboat house. It has to remain at anchor. Now the lifeboatmen are liable to be drowned, get into the lifeboat to go to a shipwreck. There's 1,600 visitors here at the moment. When the island's full, like it was last week, there was 2,000 here. 2,000 last week. They estimate about 2,000 fills the island. About 1,600 here at the moment. They haven't got very good weather. Anyhow, the weather forecast is improving. We may have a heat wave this afternoon. Then you'll see ladies in bikinis. I hope for you gentlemen's sake that we don't have a heat wave, because it's damn disgusting looking at some of the ladies in heat wave. It's damn disgusting. Yes. A fisherman's friend, if you like.
That's cabinet as well.
Yeah, that's right. But like the West Indies on a fine day, see? The islands show green, the beach is white, the sea light blue. Sea view mornings. Carlo, lifeboat station, the dairy, there's plenty to see. Mr. Pierce, a wood carver on the left. Mr. Pierce, Mr. Pierce. Here's the dustman at the university. They're both bachelors, they'll take anything away. The best dustman in the British Isles. Look, the concert tonight. Concert here tonight. This is the university. 200 children here. An unknown number of teachers. Dispatch rider now passing us. There's the beach, you see. You can tell we've had bad weather. Look at the seaweed. Crowded with ladies in bikinis in heat wave, as I said. Petrol station on the right. And the headquarters of the heavy transport company. Their drivers eat Yorkies as they drive around 11 mile of road. The glassworks on the right. And the rubbish dump, 2 in 1. See the glass works, visit the rubbish dump. The new industrial estate on the right, costing 200,000. There's a road going nowhere. Due to be opened April the 1st this year. They're a day or two late. If they build motor cars, they'll put British Leyland out of business. 200,000 down the drain, that is. There's the rubbish dump, look. You can see the new incinerator. That costs 600,000. Takes it all its time to burn milk cartons. So that's 600,000 down the drain. The Scilly Isles, ring hands and clowns. I'll open her up a bit now. Here's Norman coming, look at his beard. Wave to him, girls. He likes girls to wave to, and he's a bachelor. He drinks at the Mermaid. We're doing a steady 22. Our top speed 24. We like to have a bit in hand. Traffic is continuous. That was Albert Langsworthy just passing us. Visitors on bikes, you've got to watch them, they fall off. A lot of them haven't rode bikes for 30 years. They're falling off all the time, they are. Look at them, they don't know where they're going. A sensible lady on a pavement. We'll rest the engine now, we've done a mile. There's the helicopter, look. There's the helicopter, he's stuck. There's a big crowd up there now going mad, look. There's Sid Fogg at Penzance, he's stuck. He come in here with the newspapers and passengers and he's stuck. There's the terminal building, that was opened by Harold April Fool's Day 1975. Building cost 160,000. American told me last summer he's seen better cow sheds in Texas. The butterfly farm is ahead of us, behind the terrace, Longstone. To look at the butterflies, £1.50. Last year it was a bargain, £1.25. And there was a pig farm up there last year. To look at the pigs, it was free. So if you looked at the pigs as well as the butterflies, that half the cost of looking at the butterflies. A lot of visitors had never seen a pig. They were up there last summer taking photographs of the pigs. When they saw the pigs, they forgot about the butterflies. Anyhow, the pigs have gone now to be made into beef burgers. And the bearded man who run the pig farm, he's emigrated to the Falkland Islands. So there ain't no pigs up there now. Crowds of workmen in the fields, great activity everywhere. All the royal estate, Prince Charles, the farmers are tenants. They grow daffodils, early potatoes and weeds. And if you saw Pebble Millet 1, you saw me, you saw this coach. The producer's here at the moment, I was talking to him, he's coming for holiday. He filled the Isles of Scilly, they should give him the freedom of the island. Thousands of people have come here this year because they saw the programme. It's shown twice, January the 9th and 6 weeks ago. And it's done the Isles of Scilly a world of good. So now he's come here for holiday. He's going up the Mermaid tonight, he says. And the lady who you saw riding a bike, 80 years of age, she lives up there at Longstone, the terrace. Still rides her bike at 80. Never smoked or drank in her life. A big Methodist. Didn't get married till she was over 60. 67 years ago, she was a post girl here before you were born. The post girl. She's called Katie Thompson, Mrs. Katie Thompson. 67 years ago, she rode her bike delivering the post. There you are. Wonderful lady. We see her sometimes. She still rides her bike. I told Chris Wright she was still riding her bike. But she lives in the terrace, Longstone. Only 4 houses there. That famous boatman lives up there, Captain John Hicks, captain of the motor launch Swordfish. He's only a young chap, about 30. He has a different chambermaid every fortnight, or a lady visitor. We'll do another mile. This lady and gent got their map out. We'll ask them where we are. Right now. You're too bachelor knows her. You're lucky the men have number of the ladies on this island 4 to 1. You visit the mermaid, you'll be married in the flesh. Big road junction. On the left you can buy belladonnas, armorillas, agapanthus, daffodils, narcissi, or early potatoes. No signpost, no. The yellow flower is a marigold. The pink flower is escallonia. There's the airport bus coming back, so we'll stop. He's a friend of mine. He's been up for diesel. There's a couple of cows. They've done away with most of their cows. They're too busy milking visitors all the summer to milk cows. Most of the milk comes from Penzance on the Salonian every day, and half of the bread baked by a lady called Mother's Pride. There he is. That's Derek. His uncle drives the express bus with the brown roof. He smokes a pipe. Derek smokes woodbines. There's that yellow marigold, look. It's a weed to the farmers, it's a weed. It's pretty, pretty flower. Look at that crowd over there, look. There's some of the 30 workers. It takes 3 men to work that machine. It does the work of 4. They're the Brown brothers. They're digging up early potatoes. Great activity. Potatoes everywhere, madam. It's a wide berth. I like to give visitors a wide berth if I can. They're not used to traffic. There's the express bus, just going on the motorway. Look at that lovely cactus from South Africa. The router's going. 2 routers went then. We're leaving the motorway. Some of the ladies this morning couldn't make up their mind what to wear. Like this lady in front. Top side she's dressed for the North Pole, bottom side's for the equator. You can tell the weather's bad, look at the bike, see? You don't see them in heat wave. They go to the beach, take their clothes off. There's the famous Bishop Rock Lighthouse, behind the pointed rocks, look. 7 miles from here to the lighthouse, 3,000 from the lighthouse to New York. The island is Annet, the bird sanctuary, Annet, uninhabited. There's the castle, look. Duke of Windsor had lunch there, May the 21st, 1921. You missed him. The Prince of Wales owns the castle. It's now a well-run hotel. Richard Branson was stopping there over the weekend. When we done 2 mile, we'll rest the engine again. 2 mile. I can see my son-in-law in the mirror. Most unfortunate. The island of St Agnes over there, look, St Agnes. Got a population of about 70. Nearly everyone on St Agnes years ago was called Hicks or Leg. Legs married Hickses and Hickses married Legs. Now you can go to St Agnes, spend the day, the boatman will take you there, £1.70 return. You can sit on one of the half a dozen lovely beaches, watch the Hickses or the Legs pass by. On a fine day on St Agnes, you'd see more legs than X's. When it's raining, more X's than legs. Always short of ladies on St Agnes. Years ago, ladies, they married anything that come along. Anything, girls, anything. You may wonder what the visitors do. 7 days a week, they pour to the pier like an army of ants at 10. They embark in motor launches. They go to all the little islands for the day to get away from the crowds down here. They come back to this island 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock at night. They have an evening meal. They go to bed early so they're not late. Get into the pier at 10 o'clock next morning. Boat mad they are. Some days, last August in the heat wave, with 2,000 visitors here, 1,200 out of 2,000 were going to the pier at 10 to get away from the crowds down here. They're boat mad. They've always done it ever since visitors have come here. To the pier at 10 like an army of ants. They don't do it in bad weather. That's how we're seeing all this crowd on bikes today. So you can imagine what August in Hewtown in the rain is like. Just imagine it, madam. 2,000 visitors in August in Hewtown in the rain. Walking round the 3 city streets, looking in the windows of the 28 shops, trying to get in the 3 pubs, the 7 cafes, or the 3 sets of ladies' conveniences. So when I tell you that in August in the rain it's a madhouse, you'll believe me. But on a fine day they vanish to the pier at 10. They've always done that ever since visitors have come here, and they don't come out at night. You won't see many cows, you see. That's what I said. You may wonder where the islanders go for their holidays. Shopkeepers of West Indies, cafe owners tour the USA, hotel proprietors run down to Australia or New Zealand. The guest house proprietors are pretty hard up. They can only manage the Canaries or Madeira. You may wonder where coach drivers go. Taunton, Somerset. I was walking the streets of Taunton in the rain last December while my fellow islanders were sunbathing in the South Seas. When I was a boy, they couldn't afford to go to Plymouth for holiday. The visitors have made them. God bless the visitors. Hewtown is over there, look. You can just see the top of it. Hewtown. 28 shops, 3 pubs, 7 cafes. 3 main city streets, not a street name anywhere. All the rest is the property of Prince Charles. He owns a pier, he owns the harbour, he owns a golf course. All this island except the town, the property of the Prince of Wales. And all the little islands as well. There's over 100. It says so in the guidebook. The guidebook must be right. The gentleman who writes that lives in Reading. So he ought to. When all the lights come on tonight, as you look at the city over there from up here, it'll remind you of Hong Kong at night. Another town ahead of us, we'll go up here and have a look. If we didn't stop in and out, we'd be round in 20 minutes. There's the golf course, look, crowded. The golf course. It's right on the edge of the cliff. If you hit your balls too hard, they go over the cliff into the sea. If you smack her bottom, she goes better. Down at Telegraph, Mrs. Winnie Baton got a lovely yellow broom there. Dorian Smith got masses of that at Tresco. Eve's Cafe. The lovely purple flowers and echium, a bush echium from the Canary Islands, bush echium. Look at the crowds in the cafe. She'll do well today in heat wave. She's empty. When she puts the fairy lights on at night, it looks like Southend seafront. Eve comes from Liverpool. Is there anyone here from Liverpool? You may know her. Swings for honeymoon couples to amuse herself while they're waiting for tea. See the islands over the swings, look. That's where all the shipwrecks were years ago. Graveyard of ships down there. And there's the castle, Star Castle, built 1593. On the right, that car's for sale, madam. Look, that white one.
Oh, yeah.
And the green one there, look. Bargains. Coast Guard Station, Eyes Point. They built the houses back to front so visitors could look at the washing. The Scilly Isles. Look at that island in the gap. Port Bow, look. See the beach. The island of Samson. Plenty of Delilahs on Samson in Heatwave. Imagine being on Samson as afternoon girls with a good-looking chambermaid. Morning. Terrible weather. Mrs. Christopher goes to Miami Beach for holidays and plays golf with the Methodist minister. You can't beat that. There's Tresco and Briar, you see. But you've got to have the sun to have the colour. The only signposts on the island are burial chamber signposts. They're no good if you're lost. There's hundreds of them. We'll stop here in the centre of the town for a minute or two. Visitors everywhere on bikes. You never see a visitor on a bike in Heatwave because they're all on the beaches with their clothes off and gone to little islands. You can tell it's bad weather when you see them biking, you see. They all think alike. In Heatwave they think of beaches, bikinis and boats. And when the weather's bad they're thinking of push bikes and motorways and A-roads. Better not stop here too long, my son-in-law catches up. Well, we've seen 3 of the 30 workmen. There's a crowd somewhere. They haven't sold that green car yet, though. There are early potatoes for sale on the left, look. Be cheaper there than getting them in the shop. There's millions of daffodils. You can see the leaves, look. They flower in December, January, February and March. Millions of daffodils here in March. It was freezing cold. I'm glad you weren't here, but there was millions of daffodils. A lot of them were burnt with the wind, you see, the worst winter in living memory. But it looked lovely in the fields to see all these fields of daffodils. Visitors here last March will never come back. It was freezing cold. I told some of them one day polar bears had been seen in the back of Briar. It was so cold they believed that. Look at that man up the television mast. He's a man of iron nerve. Look at him. And there's the town post office. There you are. There's riggers here. They're reconditioning the television mast, which is 300 feet high. They are, yes. My son-in-law gives them sweets. He'll lose his finger one day and that'll be the end of that. They're waiting for him, you see. The crowds we're seeing now, this is normal. In and out you'll see a family on push bikes out here, a couple honeymoon couples. Honeymoon couples these days often bring their children with them. Down the road there's a triple S bend, the bus won't bend. We got to turn now and make a detour. Put several hundred yards on the journey. We've had a turn here for 20 years since Vic modernised his fleet and got these new large luxury coaches. For 20 years when Vic run old coaches we never ever wasted time here. Straight down the road through the triple S bend at the bottom and on around the island. There's nothing to see down there, only a duck pond with a couple of ducks. Turning here puts hundreds of yards on the journey. And the road tax was brought in by Harold, April Fool's Day 1971. 200 motorists on the island then. Harold turned them Tory. They're damned annoyed with him. They wish he went to Shetland Islands for his holidays and never come to Scilly. £100 a year road tax. £2 and 22 pence a gallon of 4-star. 222 4-star. 11 mile of road. 4 mile of the Lebanese farm track. So there's only 7 mile of motorway and A-road. But it don't stop them driving. There's over 350 motorists now. They drive downstairs to breakfast. Out of bed and behind the steering wheel is their motto. Some of them drive hundreds of yards at a time. They're all in a hurry going nowhere. There's nowhere to go. All the women drive. It's against their religion to reverse. They drive so fast through the city streets of Hewtown, visitors walk in the centre of the streets. They're afraid to walk on the pavements. A traffic hazard in the summers to meet a lady driver on a corner, driving with one hand, sucking ice cream with the other hand. But that's Watermill ahead of us. Watermill, see, we can't get through. I'd give Harold Wilson a vote myself. He widened that road for years. We drove him for years. Vic the Boss was hoping to be made the Minister of Transport in 1964. Never got the job. Vic's my uncle, he's 85. Acts as if he's 25. Gives concerts every fortnight. Wears a wig given him by Mary Wilson. Dresses like Danny LaRue. Proper comedian he is. There's a lovely beach just down below the trees. Bar Beach. And all that pink shrub is Escalonia. And look at those red jacks. They're wild gladioli, look. They're normally out the first week of May. Well, we're in the first week of June, look, and they're just coming out. So you can see how everything's late. We're back into this opening now. I'm doing this for my driving test. The white flower in the hedgerows is garlic. Onion flower, garlic. No one out here sees solitude. You can come out here morning, noon or night, June, July or August. Look at that gent up there, look. He's a man of iron nerve. I think they're on £100 a day. So they earn their money, look. Now the coach is going back on her own. You may have noticed that. She's going back on her own. After 20 years, she ought to know the way. Hooray! Anything coming up the road, madam? If you look left, I'll look behind. There's 350 of them somewhere driving around. We never hit the edge. Prince Charles wouldn't have minded if we hit it. British Telecom on the left with the dishes. British Telecom. Down the track ahead of us, there's 2 beaches. No signpost to tell you that. You've got to find them. Only the burial chambers. Coast Guard Station, highest point. Traffic is continuous. The lady dispatch rider, followed by the island plumber. Look at him waving there. There's the helicopter, look, he's just took off. So folks clearing. Look at the crowd here, look. These visitors on bikes drives the island motorists crazy. I'm going to stop. Look at them. Eve is going to do well today in her cafe. In the heat wave, she's empty. That lady's done well, isn't she? She got 3 and looks good for another half a dozen. If you wave to some of them, they get annoyed. You don't know what to do, really. And coming into view now on the right is the power station Chimley. Electricity's the dearest in the British Isles, like the petrol. There it is, look. The round tower down there, that was a windmill, a corn mill. When they found out how to do daffodils in 1880, they dumped the corn in the sea. Now they found out how to do the visitors, they're dumping the daffodils in the sea. If they ever find oil off here, first thing they'll do is dump the visitors. A rest area for visitors. Prince Charles's men have done that. And there's Hugh-town there, look, with all the crowds. And there's the castle. I'll tell you, we're stopping at Star Castle 2 years ago. Svetlana, Stalin's daughter. I spoke to her. She was lost. I put her on the right road. I had a job to understand her. She spoke broken Russian. Morning, morning. Even the push bikes are passing us. Look at them. And there's Annette, the bird sanctuary, and the Bishop Lighthouse. You can just see it, look, Bishop, behind the pointed rocks. And in July, you'll hear about the Bishop and the Isles of Scilly, because Richard Branson is going to try and beat the record from the Ambrose Light Vessel off New York to the Bishop Rock Lighthouse. The record he got to beat is 3 days, 10 hours, 40 minutes. Held by the American liner United States that passed here for many years. She was a big ocean liner, his is just a powerboat. But he's out to beat the record. Seems a very nice chap. He was here for the weekend. Presented a trophy for the gig people. And a seat to be placed up at Star Castle. He was very popular with some of the ladies. All the top knob girls were after him. They were drinking up Tregarthens till 3 o'clock, I hear, Sunday morning. There you are on the right again, the power station Chimley, the Texas Rangers, the old windmill, the round tower, and the island of St Agnes, look. Island of the X's and legs. Morning, open the window, madam, put your leg out, show a bit of leg, we're going left. We're joining the motorway now, junction 24, we're off. We'll travel now at high speed. Mrs. Christopher's lovely garden on the left, we've already met her. There's her garden, look. She waves as if she sees us. You've only got to look at the garden. There she is, look, she's waving. You've only got to look at the garden to know she can afford to go to Miami Beach and play golf with a Methodist minister. The lovely pink shrub is Escalonia. Escalonia. From South America. Not a lot of flower on it, really, owing to the bad winter. Big holiday centre ahead of us, not as big as Butlins. Brand new. 12 bathrooms and loos. There's a palm tree from New Zealand on the port bow, look. Dorian Smith got hundreds of them at Tresco. When you've seen one, you've seen them all. There's the holiday centre. Oh, it is very busy, very popular with divers. Divers dive in the Atlantic Ocean by day, they dive in the 3 pubs at night, then they chase the timbermates. Land's End lies straight ahead, 28 mile, right over Mervyn Bennett's cowshed roof down there. If it was clear, you would see Land's End straight ahead, 28 mile. And there's the Eastern Islands, look, the weather's clearing. Little uninhabited rocky islands. Visitors go there to see the seals and the seabirds. I'll give you the names of the Eastern Islands while we're looking at them. They're called Great Ganelli, Little Ganelli, Great Arthur, Little Arthur, Great Ganninix, Little Ganninix, Great Innisfalls, Little Innisfalls, Many Weather, Nor, Anjig, Ragged Island, the Moles, and the Ard Lewis Rocks. You're now as wise as a boatman. Look at the cycles on the right. Look at that. Look at that. The cycle centre. Tracy's riding stable on the right. This is the village of Newford. Quite a big village. Police force numbers 4 in the summer, 2 in the winter. The chief constable's a sergeant. The only crime is parking by women motorists on double yellow lines and emptying the 3 pubs at night. Tracy's old car, madam, look, that's going cheap. Look at the strawberries, look, see the strawberries. Strawberry farm. No sign of Tracy. There's no snakes on this island, no foxes, no squirrels, no badgers, no hares. But plenty of dogs, plenty of rats, plenty of rabbits, loads of chambermaids. Shall I repeat that? No snakes, no foxes, no squirrels, no badgers, no hares. But dogs, rats, rabbits, chambermaids. There's a big crowd down here, look, digging up potatoes. There they are, look. Got a yellow machine. They're about 3 weeks late with the early potatoes, and the price is low. The farmers are despondent.